Hello everyone, this is Kim Quady with KimPlaysWithPaper.com. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Mesa, Arizona, and every Tuesday I either come live or have a video for you that shows you what I have been working on in my craft room. So last week in my craft space, I was focusing on getting ready for a private class. I had a group of 8 women in a neighboring neighborhood who wanted a class just to get together and have some fun and stamp a few cards. Good morning, Jeanne. Thanks for joining. So they had 3 things that they wanted the cards. Hi, Shirley. Thanks for joining. They wanted a friend card, send to a good friend, a birthday card for a female, as well as a get better or feel better soon card. So the one stamp set that has all 3 of those is the Cottage Rose Cling stamp set and the coordinating Cottage Flowers dies from Stampin' Up's annual catalog. And sometimes, you know, we had the holiday catalog, we had this, now we have the spring and celebration. Sometimes the annual catalog gets lost in all of that. So I composed a class with 3 cards using the Cottage Rose stamp set, the flowers die, the Cottage Flowers dies, and then the Abigail Rose Designer Series paper. So I thought that I would show you the 3 cards I made. I had leftovers. Hi, Beth. Thanks for joining. And so I thought I'd show you just a quick class, how I did the class last night for there were 2 or 3 people who'd never stamped before, so it was kind of fun. So let me pop you down and let's show you my class. This is basically what I worked on last week trying to get ready for class. So just kind of revisiting that annual catalog again. So you'll find the Cottage Rose and Abigail Rose on pages 56 and 57 of the annual catalog. And so there is my birthday, my friends, and my get well sentiment. Good morning, Deb. Glad to have you. Along with some flowers, the coordinating dies as well. Lots of different dies for flowers. That one cuts that. You'll kind of see how I used one of the dies. The other feature that was highly that I used quite a bit was the Abigail Rose Designer Series paper. And I did use a bunch of this, so I only have some pieces left. So I'll just quickly show you some of the pieces. This Designer Series paper is perfect for coloring in the flowers with our blends or sponging. So you'll see how I used these pieces on the cards. And then I've got some left to use for another time. I'm just quickly showing you the sheets. Now this one, I really love this. I wanted to use it, but I didn't want to use it. So I was kind of hoarding it. But anyway, there we go. Let's start with the first card and show you this one. I used the big flower, a little bit of sponging. So let me bring in the ingredients that I used for that. Again, there were some people who'd never stamped before, so it was a really fun class. I have a piece of basic black cardstock that I had just scored. I have a 5 1/4 by 4 piece for the middle of the card. I have that piece of Designer Series paper cut by 5 1/4 by 4. A black layer, another black layer cut at 4 1/4 by 3 1/2. And then a basic white piece that's 4 by 3 1/4. So this went together real easily. It was a good one to start with because it's stamping. Good morning, Valita. Thanks so much for joining. And I did use the black, the basic black. I have the happy birthday for this card. Just kind of gently ink that up. I always like to practice on my grid paper to be sure that it's exactly where I want it. But I do want the happy birthday down in the bottom here. If you're just joining, I am showing you a class that I did last night with a group of eight ladies. I think 2 or 3 of them had never stamped before. Hi, Dawn. Thanks for joining. So that was fun, and they all did really well. I always tell people that if you've never stamped before, give yourself some grace. It's okay not to know exactly what to do. It's okay if it's not perfect. That's a handmade card. Oops, look, we have a jewel hooked to that. So then this flower just went right in the middle. Again, showing, look at there, it just won't go away. One of those black matte dots. All right, then what I did is I took in the Mango Melody with one of these, have you seen these new cute little blending brushes? They're available in Stampin' Up's January through April mini catalog. They're so cute. So I introduced the blending brush. I just put a little bit of ink on. Sometimes I go off the paper so it doesn't bunch up or splotch, I guess is the word that I'm looking for. Good morning, Tina. So you can put as much Mango Melody on here as you want to try to bring out that flower. Just gives it a little color without having to get out a bunch of coloring tools. And it's a quick way to color. I mean, if you love to color, these are beautiful flowers to color. If you don't like to color, the blending brushes adds just that little bit of color that you need. So then I had them attach this white stamped piece to our black layer. And then I added some linen thread. There's a whole bunch of linen thread here. Probably about, I would say, 24 inches. And when I put this linen thread on, I always drape it from the top, starting in the front, and then I bring it around and bring it around, and then tie a bow with that linen thread. I love the linen thread. It goes with almost everything. Just adds a little bit to every card, and it's a real reasonable product in my opinion. One that's versatile and cost effective to use for a group that size, because sometimes with making cards with a group that you run out of designer series paper, and you have to make it cards designed so you're not there all night. But we did really well. So there's that designer series paper cut at 5 1/4 by 4 that I'm just going to put on the front with the 1/4 inch all the way around. Let's do a quick little stamp of the flower, and we can decorate the inside, and you can always decorate the envelope as well. Maybe we'll just put that little flower down in the corner there. All right, and then we'll put that inside, and then use Stampin' Dimensionals to pop that up. Good morning, Carolyn. Thanks for popping in this morning. I am showing some cards I made with the class last night using the Cottage Rose stamp set. They wanted 3 specific cards. They wanted a birthday, a female birthday, a friend, and then a get well. So you could off kilter that. You could center it. I'm a centering kind of gal. And then I have the black matte dots that I brought in. I had to have jewels for every card last night. Are you like that? Does everybody like jewels? And you can just I always use odd numbers. Use 3 on here. But if I have any extras left for class, I like to make them. And then I just have them on hand for all those birthdays that pop up. All right, so that is the very first card. Hello, Linda, good morning. That's the first card we made last night at class. I can trim that. So real quick and easy to be successful. It was also fun to get back into the annual catalog. We've kind of, in the last few months, been consumed by the holiday catalog and then by the new spring catalog as well. All right, so this is the second card that we made. This is the Feel Better Soon sentiment and the flower, one of the flowers from that Cottage Rose set. So let me bring in the supplies that I used for that. All right, so this is a smoky slate. I love that color combination of smoky slate and petal pink. I have a petal pink piece that measures 5 1/4 by 4, and I did run that through the time-worn Type 3D embossing folder. I had that all done for them. And then, of course, my 5 1/4 by 4 for the inside, so you can write a note. Another smoky slate that measures 4 1/2 by 3. And one of the pieces of the designer series paper. This is a fun side because you can color in those tulips. So that piece measures 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. It is really hard, isn't it, when you're talking designer series paper, because we have so many fun papers. Which side do you use? So there's this piece measures 1 inch by 5 1/4. So that's how that's going to go together. So I will just get out my Stampin' Seal and I'll put that together, and then we'll just do a little stamping. So there was a lot of taping and adhering and a little bit of stamping. Good morning, Sarah. Thanks so much for joining. So there's that petal pink on that smoky slate. Just a real awesome color combo. The designer series paper on top of this. This is one of my classic layouts. And it works for almost every stamp set, and it makes it easy to put together. Lots of cutting and taping, but it sure is beautiful. All right, so while we're taping, and I did set that off to the left just a little bit. This is what we're going for, and then I did have this little leaf piece. Let's see, make sure the stems go the right way. So there, we're almost, see how fast that went together. So now we just need to stamp. I had this flower all ready to go with my petal pink. Move that off to the side so I don't get, so just, I'm gonna ink that flower. Like I can practice here. Beautiful, and it fits perfectly in this circle. That comes from one of the Stylish Shapes dies. Alrighty, and then I'll bring in the sentiment, the Feel Better Soon. This set had exactly all of the sentiments that the ladies wanted to use last night, so I thought it was a perfect set. I always practice on my grid paper. Alrighty, and that can just go right in the middle. Feel Better Soon. All right. Use a little bit of adhesive and layer it on my circle. This is from the Layering Circles dies, one of the scallops. And add some dimensionals. Again, another quick card using Cottage Rose. Again, we sometimes forget about that annual catalog and all the goodies that are in there and are available for a number of months. And then I layered that just right here. And of course, we had to have some jewels, so I took out the Pearl Basic jewels for that. Let me see if I can squeeze a little more into my Take Your Pick tool. They liked adding jewels last night, and we all like a little bit of bling and what it adds to our card. Good morning, Barbara. Thanks for joining. And while we have the ink out, let's just do something for the inside, a quick flower. Again, you can also do this on your envelope. Still giving you room to write something, write a message. And then I'll put that in the inside. So that's 2 of the 3 cards that we created last night. Sometimes it takes me all week to prep for something like that. So, but it's fun to show how a class comes together and all the different cards you can make. Thank you, Barb. So then the third card, I usually don't make 3 cards on a Tuesday morning, but I have all the paper cut and ready to go. Again, this uses the die cut from the Cottage Rose, the Cottage Flower dies, a crumb cake base that I've just folded in half, a piece of the Designer Series paper that's 5 1/4 by 4. And when you have a whole package and you cut it at 5 1/4 by 4, you can get 12 cards out of that. So that's always a good number to make if I'm going to make. And then I know I have extras because I also sometimes sell my cards, or I do send a lot of cards too. Thank you, Linda. Thanks, everybody. That gold foil just really does it. I'll show you that in a minute. So I do have it, the stylish shapes. I did cut squares for that, and I have my Friends Forever all ready to go, and I have crumb cake ink with that as well. And I wanted to stamp just down here at the bottom so we have room for that flower, okay? Now what I did is I die cut all of these, and I had these little delicate flowers all ready to go. I cut them out of the gold foil, and I did put adhesive sheets on the back. I've already torn the adhesive sheet off, so you didn't have to watch me struggle. It's a very delicate flower, so it's kind of hard to put adhesive on, so the adhesive sheets work, but sometimes, you know, all those little pieces get stuck, and well, you have other things to do than watch me take that off. The backing off, but I have it all ready to go. And so you don't have to mess with those adhesive sheets. Are awesome if you haven't tried them. You don't have to mess with glue or anything. And then I layered that flower piece on that gold foil, and you could cut your flower out of this piece, and that piece measures 3 by 3, so the white's about 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So I will add adhesive, and then we'll use dimensionals to pop that up in the front, add some ribbon and some jewels. And it's just such a beautiful card. I was so happy with that. And this could even, you know, make a gorgeous wedding card or anniversary card. So that's the neat thing about any of these cards too, is I think you can swap out the sentiments and use them for almost anything. And if you would purchase that bundle right now, the Cottage Rose and the Cottage Flowers, that is about $54, and you could earn a free Celebration item. So Celebration goes through the end of February 28th. All right, so I have this very pretty gold. So there, it comes in a package of silver and gold, and I'll tie a quick bow. Quick, that's not always do my bunny ears. Sometimes it takes a couple of tries, but you can make the big loops and then kind of get it to where you want it. And then I just use, you roll up a glue dot on, and then stick the glue dot underneath that knot. And you can affix it to the card like so. Sometimes I'll use two. Good morning, Melissa. All right. And of course, there's jewels. We have my favorite champagne rhinestone jewels. Got the little guys out. I use a lot of those. Just use my pick tool to put them in some strategic places and just add a little bit. And I could also, we have our inside piece. I have inside pieces for all of them. Good morning, Nikki. Thanks for joining. I was just showing some cards we created at a private class last night here in Mesa for eight women who wanted certain cards. So let me put this together, and then I'll show you all three of them at one time. Quick and easy class, quick and easy thing you can do at home to make a bunch of cards in a short period of time that are just absolutely gorgeous using the Cottage Rose stamp set and the Cottage Flowers dies, in addition to the Abigail Rose Designer Series paper. So here are the Feel Better Soon, and then the Friends Forever, and our birthday card. So it's quite a variety. Did a few different techniques, and had a lot of fun. It was just a lot of fun to be with a group of gals who were, some of them, stamping for their very first time. So thank you, everyone, for joining this morning, for commenting, for sticking with me, and we will see you next week. Hi, Kathy. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week. We'll show you what I've been working on in my craft room this week. Probably some celebration items, getting ready for class next week. So have a great rest of your Tuesday and the rest of the week and weekend, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much. You can find me, if you remember, at kimplayswithpaper.com. Everything will be on my blog along with the video. Bye-bye.